Okay, so let's review the scores from the challenge. So let me refresh this. Okay, so sort by rank. So we got done. Probably you didn't have time to do the last two questions, maybe? Oh,
I just
Roche.
wasted too much time on the balance.
Rochelle got almost that. She was trying to get the score for the blue tick. She just needed 2.77 points more. She got almost there. Then Adam and oh, I don't know. When I'm scroll, it scrolls twice. You see? Okay, so Adam, stay here, and so you probably have to check or you change the window on the test 3, and yeah, and then you had a bit of penalty on the elegance. Also looks like question number 4 costed a bit more because it was the most the most difficult. Yeah.
So that
Yes.
that focus was because I changed the window.
Yeah, focus is when you change tab or window, you get a penalty. And depending on the time and how many
I was
times.
playing music on SoundCloud.
Okay, so that was it then. Yes.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it's totally worth it.
so in this one probably you lost 5 points. So yeah, anyway,
Yeah,
Ian
it's fine.
would win anyway. Okay. Yeah, likewise, the fourth question took a bit longer. So yeah, let's see the code. So the first question, we have to use a stateless component. Here Ian is using a fragment. Adam, yeah, it's working. We don't need to put the text on the bottom, but it's a good habit. I like it. And yeah, Rochelle as well, using a fragment. Dan using a fragment. Yeah. Then the question number 2.
A question about
Yes.
fragments.
Yes.
So we should basically use fragments when we don't want to put a class name on it.
You're supposed to use fragments when you don't want a div, an extra div on your DOM. When you don't want to create a lot of divs, like extra elements in your website or your app, fragment is useful for that. But if you need a class,
Okay.
then you need to use div. Okay, so we were on the second question. Yeah, we did it almost. Similar things. Probably got a bit of penalty on the indentation here. And yeah, this was right. Then question number 3. This one was actually a question to use with a class, but I see that you deleted it and made it with hooks. I do that as well. Here, Rochelle used a class, which is fine. Then question number 4. This was the trickiest one. Yes. And then yes, Daniel probably didn't have time, and Rochelle. Let me see. Uh, I don't know exactly what was wrong, just by taking a look like this. Oh yes, she didn't have state. She's checking. Ah no, you don't need state actually in this one. It's a property. Okay, anyway, I'm going to solve it afterwards. And this last one was about swapping the positions between white and black. Ian and Adam got it right, and then Rochelle. mm, she's defining the function on the constructor. I don't know. Okay, anyway, I'm going to solve it. So let's do it then. So this first question, we need a return. Then we can use a fragment or a div. So let's use a fragment. And then we have a label and a button. So label and button. Okay. Yes, we don't need to put the text, but let's do it. Switch. And then we have a property in state that is going to tell us whether it's enabled or disabled. So it starts disabled. So let's call it is disabled. Is disabled, and then set is disabled, is state, and the initial value is true. And then the label, if it's disabled, feature disabled, okay. So then we need to put some logic here. So is disabled. This sounds like English almost. Then feature disabled. Feature disabled, otherwise like feature enabled. Let me indentate this. And close this. And I think that no, I need to update the state. So I need the on click. And then inside here, we just update the state to the opposite. So set is disabled to not is disabled. And let's also split this. And if I don't have any typo or syntax error, this should work. Let me test. Confetti. So let's do the next one. Okay, so we need at least a return, and then a div or a fragment, and we have a label and a button again. So label, and then button, what else? Then inside the label, we need to have a text that is going to tell us the laps completed. So let's put that laps completed, and then we put the laps that I'm going to create using use state. So const laps, and then set laps, and then use state, and the initial value is 0, and then we need to handle the event, the click. So on click, we're going to set the laps. So we need an arrow function and set laps to laps plus 1. And I don't know, count laps or add lap. And I think this is it. Let me test. Yeah, this one was quite simple. It was just a simple counter. So let's do the next one. If you have any questions, please interrupt me. So yeah, I'm going to use a function, a stateless component function. The component is called input. And return. And then here we have yeah, we need a wrapper. We have an input, and this input has a value that for now it's going to be Charlotte, and it also is of type text. So let's put the type text, and the value is going to come from the state. So let's create the state. Const say input text and set input text, use state, and the initial value is Charlotte. Semicolon, and then here we put input text, and then we have a button that is going to reset, and in this case we need the text. So button and then text here, and we need to handle a click. And then when we click, the value for the input text is going to be an empty string. So let's do that. So on click, then here we have, we're going to set input text to an empty string. And that was it. This one was quite simple as well. So let's test it.
Yeah, you need to change. You have an error. You need reset instead of text
Oh, yes,
between buttons.
You're right. You're right. Reset. Thank you, Ian. Yes. And now let's submit it. Okay, so again, let's make this a function. This one was the one that was a bit more complex. Just to understand the test, it's going to take some time. So let's do it. So music artists is the name of the component. Then it's a function. Inside we have a return. Then I'm going to put a fragment again. Then inside. So this component has a prop that is called list. So let's destructure that prop. List. Wait. List. And then here we need to map over the list. So let's do that. So list.map. And then each element of the list is going to be an artist. And each artist is an object that has 3 properties. So let's destructure that as well. So name, first album, and show details. And then what we are going to render from the map is for each artist, we are going to have a class name artist, then a class name, and a class name first album. But depending if the show details is true or false, we are going to show the first album or not, as we can see here. So if show details is true, then we're going to show the first album. Otherwise, nothing. So let's start by the wrapper div. It's going to be class name artist. Then this div inside is going to have the name, another div with class name name, and then another div with class name first album, but this one is only going to be rendered if show details is true. So we need some more logic here, so more JavaScript. So if show details is true, then we're going to render the div with a class name first album, and yeah, I have to close it. Okay, and so this is the structure. What I need now is the text inside. So inside name, we're going to have name, and inside first album, we're going to have first album. So let me split this, yes. And I think that's it. I don't know, let me check. Yep, let's test it. If it doesn't work, then I'll fix it. So let's see. Wait, I think it's taking too long. Okay, show details is defined but never used. Oh, yes, I have a typo here. And what else? Oh, I'm missing the key as well because I'm doing a map. Let's put the key here. And let's use the name. And then, yeah, I think that's it. Oh, can I test it? Yes. No. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Do you have any questions about this one? This one is the one that was a bit more complicated. But as long as you can understand the test,
No question.
as long as you can understand the test, you can see that then the implementation is not that difficult. Okay, so let's go to the next one. So again, we have a class. Let's make it a function. Function chess. And then return. And we have at least a wrapper. And this component has two props, white and black. So let's destructure them. White, black. And basically we have two labels and one button. So let's do that. We have label. Another, so label is going to be what? Sorry, class name top, because it's telling us the dot top. Class name, sorry, it's just a string top. Then another label with a class name bottom. And then a button that doesn't have any classes. And then the text inside the button, we don't have any. So let's say, you know, switch sides. So basically, when we click on the button, we should change which player is playing with the blacks and which player is playing with the whites. So then what we need to put here is whether we are playing, we have the white or the black. And to do that, we need to declare at least one property instead. So const, how do I call it? So I don't know, side fidget, I don't know, side, or is side changed something like that. And this is an array. So set is side changed. And then use state. And the initial value is going to be false. Or yeah, false. So so if is side changed, then we are going to have the on the top by default we have the black, so the true is going to be the white. It's going to be white, and false is going to be black. And in the bottom it's going to be the opposite. So black and white. And now we need to handle the click. So on click, we are going to update our property to the opposite. So on click, set is side changed to not, or in this case we are only changing it once, so it's false. Let's make it true, and that's it. If I did everything right, if I don't have any typos or any syntax errors, this should work. So yes, let's test it. I have a semicolon missing here. And no, 9.6 is too long. Okay, so I'll split it. Okay, so now, okay. So that was it. Do you have any questions? Should I leave?